The violence in Kiev highlights the increasingly fraught geopolitical battle that is underway between East and West, a battle reminiscent of the Cold War. Ukraine lies geographically between Russia and Europe, and until recently had set its sights on membership in the European Union. But Ukraine's president rejected that and opted instead for closer ties with Russia. That included a badly needed $15 billion bailout. Now Russia has warned Ukraine's president not to let opponents walk over him like a doormat. The strongest signal yet, Moscow wants order on the streets before handing over any more money. I'm joined now by Anton Fedyashin of American University. He's a professor there, an expert in Russia and Eastern Europe. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Donna.
This is an increasingly bitter battle for influence, isn't it? What do you think ultimately is at stake here?
What's at stake, first of all, is, of course, Yanukovych's presidency. And I think it's pretty certain at this point that there will be no second term. And most likely, he will have to call for early presidential elections, dissolve the Rada, the Ukrainian parliament, and call for new elections to that. And that will only allow him to save the country from further immediate chaos. What lies several months ahead is anyone's guess at this point. The country is divided beyond being able to be fixed at this point, so we'll see what happens.
And no one saw this coming. I know you've told me before we came on air that you didn't anticipate this coming. I don't think anyone did. Now, Russia has denied its buying the former Soviet republic with financial aid, portraying it instead as an act of brotherly love towards its neighbor. What's your assessment of Russia's role?
Well, I think the term brotherly love, I'm not sure where it came from, but it's a way of misrepresenting, I suppose, an economic package. I mean, you can use that argument for any country that offers money to any other. I think the bigger question here is, what has Europe offered Ukraine in order to woo it? So far, there have been absolutely no financial offers. There have been no offers of a visa-free regime, which is what most Ukrainians will expect if they are to join the EU, or at least start moving towards it. So as of today, Russia has actually been the only country to offer Ukraine serious economic incentives, which includes, by the way, a decrease in half of gas prices.
Right.
We have yet to see what the European Union can match it with.
Well, and now the West is imposing sanctions, as you know. Do you think they'll make much difference on the ground, or could they actually force the Ukrainian president even further into Russia's arms?
I think that the second is more likely. The president and the people in his immediate surroundings are fighting for their political survival at this point. I don't think they're terribly concerned about visas, frozen accounts and assets. This is a question of holding on to power and not being swept away. And
just quickly, do you think what we're seeing is the start of a civil war?
Unfortunately, if you had asked me this question about 3 months ago, I would have said none of this will ever make it that far. But it's looking like increased violence is likely, unless the international community can step in and help the Ukrainians resolve this conflict.
All right, Professor Fedyashin, thank you.